Always happy to help. What do you need? I haven't been to the Imperial City in a while. I traveled here some time ago in my hunt for Gao. In fact, this is where the hunt began. I've come full circle, and I think it's time to let go of the past and look forward. We have exciting things ahead of us. There's no point in living in the past either. In my heart, I know my daughter rests as easily as any spirit now. Whatever happens, I have that. And if we succeed, I know she finds peace. If I could go back, I don't know if I would. I'm a different man now, and while I treasure the past, I look forward to the future with the same warmth. Besides seeing what trouble you get yourself into next, you mean? You know, I look forward most to the day when I figure out how to deal with you. A woman as strong as she is beautiful is rare, but I've encountered that combination before. Normally, I try to flatter you into my bed, but you... You're better than that. You're a companion and a damn skilled warrior. So I find I never quite know how to deal with you. See, now you're flirting with me, and I'm left here stammering. I don't deny your beauty. I just don't want to treat you like I would other women. I respect you, and, well, let's just leave it at that for now.
I trust your plans go well, despite the dangers you face and inflict. Is there something I can do for you? I think it's unwise to trust the Emperor's daughter. She acts without regard for her station, but she is a slave to it like we all are. What other truths might she have missed? She may have good information for you, but I suspect she has her own agenda. Be careful. I will answer if it suits me. They are as powerful as fear allows them to be. Not the specific information you are looking for, I'm sure, but you did ask about my feelings. If their tactics have not changed, everyone fears them as children fear the shadows, never knowing what might come. They are not outlaws. Their orders come from Death's hand, and he is the will of the Emperor. At least, that is how it was meant to be. Pardon my outburst. Every act of the assassins has the approval of the Emperor. We were supposed to reflect his glory. That is why some actions should never have been ordered. The Lotus Assassins were once the Order of the Lotus under Prince Ken, spiritual advisor to the Emperor. During and after the attack on Dirge, changes were made. As flames seared the sky, enemies of the Emperor faced a new threat, Death's Hand. He assumed command of our order, and we began silencing people. Some were killed only to serve as warnings. Others had done nothing except be near his enemies. I am no stranger to death. That alone is not enough to disturb me, but I see only weakness in targeting innocents, peripheral to the real enemy. Weakness suggests losing the right to rule. Can you see how that shook my faith in the Empire? You seem to see why I had concerns. Perhaps you might understand. I have not said everything, and I have not yet decided if I will. But I see something in you that may set things right. We will see. For now, what else do you need? Goodbye.
The Imperial City. I'd always heard how impressive it was. The stories didn't do it justice. I feel like I'm a long way from home, and I don't even know where home is anymore. I haven't had any time to think about anything except Master Li and Two Rivers and the Imperial City. It's all so much to take in. I've probably told you this story, but when I was young, I dreamt of a magic harp that would take me to a place where no one was troubled by visions or spirits. Now I can't help but picture that poor fish flopping in the streets of the Imperial City, oblivious passers-by casually stepping around it. It feels odd to have lived with an image of the Empire for so long and to lose it so quickly. I miss Two Rivers. I miss Xingwu, Old Ming, Gu Jin. I remember lessons in the school, and you making some joke that had Smiling Mountain snickering under his breath, even as he scolded us for not paying attention. What do you remember about those days? I keep all our fallen friends in mind. With all the spirits I see, it would be hard not to. I see the walls between this world and the next as very thin. Come, we should get going. There's a great deal left to do, and I don't want to leave it for too long.
I can't believe my luck. I arrived home after being lost, only to find that my wife has gone off to visit relatives. I am very happy indeed. Instead of dying upon my return home, I am free. Until she returns, of course. You're beginning to sound like my wife. Where were you last night? Why were you talking to that woman? Why do you smell like a goat? Always with the question. As I mentioned earlier, after becoming tournament champion for the second time, I was forced to marry my sponsor's nubile niece. She is the reason I no longer fight. My disapproving dove did not care for my drinking, or for my friends, or my fighting, or my friends fighting. She believed I should settle down, be more respectable. At first I ignored her rebukes and continued fighting, but I soon learned that she was not a woman to be crossed. Prior to one fight, my duplicitous Daisy drugged my wine. I don't remember much of what happened next, which is fortunate. From what I hear, it wasn't very pretty. I spent the next several months under the tender ministrations of my doting wife. Needless to say, when I was well enough to walk again, I was more than happy to settle down. As to why I became a bondmaster, well, it's a hard, thankless job that keeps me very, very busy. Very busy. We made it this far. How hard can it be from here? From what I've seen, you're more than capable of handling anything we're likely to encounter. As you say, I will be here scrubbing your pots until you call upon me again.
What? What do you want? Too much talking and thinking can be dangerous, I should know. I remember one cold winter I took a job clearing rats from a local monastery. I was supposed to make sure the pests stayed out of the sacred pools, but hunting rats one at a time is boring work. So I had an idea, a way to catch them all at once. I convinced the monks to give me some of their sacred wine, and I filled the sacred pools. I figured if I could get the rats drunk, they'd be so much easier to catch. Nothing happened at first, so I helped myself to the wine. I passed out before the rats came. In the middle of the night, I was woken up by screaming monks and fiery explosions. It was just the rats. The poor furry buggers were just trying to get warm near the monks' fires after their swim in the wine. Not a good combination. The monks wanted me gone. I might have deserved the blame, but the abbot insisted it was a sign from the gods and closed the monastery. See what happens when you think too much? Whatever.
I didn't expect you in your strange training to make it to the Imperial City. You are proving to be a very interesting person. I should have seen it coming. I suspect that we share a similar strength. As the Heavenly Lily, I am above suspicion, but I am restrained by fawning servants. Silk Fox can go anywhere, and people are not shy about their reactions. There is a thrill, of course, and it allows me to find information useful to us both. Death's Hand brought your Master Li to the palace a few days ago. I saw the flyer. He was bound in chains. He must be powerful, but I still don't believe he is Sun Li, the glorious strategist. I was too young to know him. I was told that he and Prince Qin, the third brother, fell defending the Empire 20 years ago. Now it seems they may have been traitors. I discovered this looking through records for information on Death's Hand. Perhaps he tried to influence Sun Li and Sun Qin before corrupting my father. But it doesn't matter who your master is. I could take you to the palace, but Death's Hand controls what my father hears. He must be discredited for you to succeed. Death's Hand has almost total control over my father. We must find conclusive evidence of his crimes and reveal his corruption. And I know how. Construction on the wall has stopped for the first time in generations. The workers now toil in factories building powerful creatures of stone and clay called golems. Death's Hand could use these automatons to seize the Empire, and my father is oblivious. We must infiltrate the Lotus Assassins and find evidence of this treachery. We need proof of Death's Hand's intent from the seat of his power, the Lotus Assassin Fortress. It would be impossible to assault, so just walk in. They are recruiting. Have any Lotus Assassins who saw your face lived to report back? I doubt it. They will not recognize you as the person who fought them in Tian's Landing. They have a vague description full of guesswork that has guards holding people at random. Besides, they expect an attack, not someone trying to catch their eye. I would wager that you may profit from their tasks too. Can you see the beauty in using their own methods of recruitment to fight them? I think they deserve it. There are guilds within the Lotus Assassins. Executioners look for fearsome warriors. Inquisitors are more subversive, and they look for cunning in their agents. If you prove yourself in the arena, they will notice you. My people can spread rumors of your interest. The Executioner will take a real interest when you finish the silver round. Or if you prefer, the Inquisitor recruiter is also seeking new people. He might be open to persuasion. Death's Hand rules over the Lotus Assassins, so I take special interest in their activities. I've had most of my life to ask questions. You suspect my motives? You have no reason to doubt me. If I wanted the Lotus Assassins to find you, I could simply tell them your name. Ask Scholar Dongao in the Scholar's Garden about him. Dongao is closer to the Assassins than he should be. He will tell you where to meet the Inquisitor. Or seek the Executioner. My people will spread rumors of your interest, and he will approach you in the arena. They like fighters who have passed the silver round. Unless you want me with you, I will wait at your flying machine. You travel with such interesting peasants. I'm sure I'll be entertained for hours. Of course. I look forward to it.
Always happy to help. What do you need? Dawnstar has been telling me about two rivers, the Swamp and Gao the Lesser. I was sorry to hear about your town. You're a woman with a knack for finding trouble. I didn't say it was a bad thing. We're kindred spirits, you and I. There's something I've been meaning to ask you. Why? Seriously, why are you doing this? Details aside, you're fighting the Empire as a whole when you oppose the Lotus Assassins, Death's Hand, or the Emperor's will. I know all about your village and your master, and that explains some of it. What it doesn't explain is your drive, your strength. What gives you that? I wonder if fate cast this burden upon you, or if you rose up on your own to shoulder it. History will probably decide. I know you're going to follow Silk Fox's plans to find a way into the Assassin's Den. It won't be easy, but I'm confident we'll succeed. It's what happens after you find a way in that has me worried. What can I say? You're a source of constant excitement in my life. I'd hate to lose that. All kinds. Trust me. Let's not get too far off topic, though. This is important. I knew men and women who were drawn to the Lotus Assassins. They went into that place to prove themselves, as you intend to. And the few who made it back out were different. They acted like they didn't know us, or just didn't care if we lived or died. It's hard to say if there's even a difference to the Lotus Assassins. I know you'll be fine. The Assassins will be lucky if you don't bring the place down around their ears. Just be sure not to tip your hand before you're ready. That's all in the future, though. We should keep at what we're doing. There's a lot left to tackle before we're done. Well, let's see if I can break it down for you. We're desperately trying to impress the people who are trying to kill you and who kidnap your master. That, of course, will allow us to enter the heart of their lair, where we can acquire highly sensitive evidence against the most dangerous man in the Empire. If we were anyone else, I'd say we were doomed. But hey, we got me. I was thinking about a story my father once told me. He was a scoundrel, but he could spin a fine yarn when he wasn't robbing caravans. Have you ever heard the tale of the Eternal Companions? The Eternal Companions were a group of warriors that traveled the ancient kingdoms, well before the formation of the Empire. They were said to be giants, to know styles no one could match, to always appear to offer their services to a kingdom when times were worst. The tales are too fantastic to be accurate, though I'm sure the Black Whirlwinds tried at least once. No one can actually cleave a mountain in two. What made me bring this up was just a simple thought. Were these companions real people once? Were they just like us? Something tells me they were, but not in the way you'd expect. You know how legends tend to grow in the telling? I think they also absorb other tales as they go. I doubt it. For instance, we have yet to wipe out a rival kingdom. Failing that, I'm a bit shy of 12 feet tall. The point is that when things are wrong, people believe that someone will do something about it. Whether we succeed or not, we are those someones right now. More importantly, you're the someone. You're the real reason we're together, and I worry about how much of this rides on your shoulders. You're important to me in many ways. I just want you to know that I'll do anything I can to help. Anything. Just ask. Well, that would be terribly out of character, wouldn't it? No. No changes are planned on my end. We'll talk again soon, I promise. For now, let's get back to it.
Well, look who we have here. There's no princess to save you this time.
Do you think we'd forget? You can't humiliate us and just walk away. We'll teach you to insult a guard of the Imperial City.
There are rumors flitting about the city that you seek the attentions of the executioners. These rumors come from the palace itself, leaving me intrigued. You are a novice with no standing in the arena. What makes you think you are of any interest to me? Then show it with your skills, not your mouth. Anyone can talk about their victories. I need people who let actions speak for them. If you were to knock Iron Soldier from his perch as Silver Division champion, I would be impressed. I will be here if you wish to petition me further, but I don't acknowledge anything less than the best. Return when you are worthy, and no sooner.
Welcome, friend. The lecture won't be starting for a little while, though your enthusiasm is appreciated. And I wouldn't worry about seating. Those interfering philosophers had made sure that very few people will be attending the lecture. What? That's quite a question. I'm not sure who told you, but I'd appreciate it if you would keep your voice down when asking those kinds of questions. Nobody here suspects me to be anything but an overzealous scholar, and I'd like to keep it that way. So you want to know about the recruiter? You have a flying machine, do you not? Yes, I know about that. Go back to the landing area and someone will meet you there. He already knows, I'm sure. Now go, and I will not speak to you about this any further.
They already know about you. That means one of two things. Either the princess is exceptionally good at spreading rumors, or they're desperate for new people. The safe bet's on both of those being true. I don't think you'll have any trouble catching the attention of the Inquisitors. No, I'm sure they have no idea of your real identity. I wouldn't worry about that. This Inquisitor will be more interested in you than he'll let on. I'm not even sure if you needed to talk to Dong Gao to catch his attention. Sorry, I forget myself sometimes. It's just, well, let's not be late for that little meeting at the Flyer.
Irkana, o niggas urir kwana no kasa iriroro. Miato no napadi irovir, kuni ugnawata ir. Sa ir yagawak, kogonato si iri panoniniku. Uno wir na no ba irsu, isana yoyo. Kunir puk no songkud nano wana nyabir. Irkana, niggas urir kwana no kasa iriroro. Sata tawa ir wanawa kuno sukut nia awafawa ir sutuk. Wowo sun punono, yapapap nasia wir sa ir wuth. Usair kokonato, tanatia, katanano, shafatoyo, kokonato siri panoneniko. Niato no napadi irovir, kuni ugnawata ir. Wunnowir na no ba irsu. Isana yuyo, ko nirpuk no sangkud na no wana nyapir. Sata tawe ir, wanawa fu kuno sukut nia awafawa ir sutok. Wunnowir na no ba irsu. Isana yuyo, ko nirpuk no sangkud na no wana nyapir. Unuir wo fubso wisa wushin. Wo kewasa ir susu kuyo ni uksa irsawa. Ipanar nuku iwa ir nikasanarir iruru ni nuasa ir kana. Wunnowir na no ba irsu. Isana yuyo ko nirpuk no sangkud na no wana nyapir. Ikirnik tine piru wo iperek uksun puno. Usair kokanato tanatnia katanano shafatoyo kokanato siyiri panoneniko. Niato nonapadi irovir kuni ugnawata ir. Usair kokanato tanatnia katanano shafatoyo kokanato siyiri panoneniko.
You know, far be it from me to presume, but I have an idea of how we might be able to solve this problem. My glorious wife's third cousin is a minor official in the Ministry of Harmony. I know a little something of the way Judge Fang conducts his business. All of Fang's ministers bring him an honor gift when they go to see him, an offering given as a sign of respect, a bribe, some would call it. If we replace Shang's honor gift with something insulting, rare turtle eggs, for example, Fang would be so outraged he'd refuse to even listen to Shang's report. I admit there are still some details yet to be worked out, but acquiring the eggs is easy. I have some here that you can simply have.
You have turtle eggs here? After just saying they are very rare?
Well, I was saving them for my coming anniversary. You buy early if you want them to be... right. It doesn't really matter, does it? There are more daunting problems to consider. For example, how will you sneak past Sheng's guards to make the switch?
We should just kill Shang. Nice and simple. Kill his guards, too.
Oh, yes. And while we're at it, we could kill Fang, and his guards, too. Unleash rivers of blood in the streets, all in the service of the Lotus Assassins.
Now that is how you interrupt the bureaucratic process. I'm all for it.
I am no coward, but there is already more blood on my hands than I can ever wash clean.
You know this. I have no plan for you, no easy answer. But working with the Lotus Assassins is a bad idea. No good can ever come of it.
We really don't have any choice, Sue. It's the only way we'll ever rescue Master Li. I don't like the idea of causing trouble for Shang. Maybe we should investigate Fang in the arena first. We might be able to stop him from getting that report without hurting Shang, or anyone else.
Maybe you're right, Dawnstar. I just hope that in the end we don't sacrifice everything for the sake of one man, even if he is your beloved Master Li.
It's up to you how we handle this, but remember that the Inquisitors aren't just thugs. They're more subtle.
Saw you out there in the ring. You got real potential. Even Fang was impressed. Normally Fang's into rough girls, but he likes them dirty too. You're a bit too classy for his taste. He'd rather watch you in the ring than have a more intimate meeting. I guess he figures the more he talks to you, the less time you have to inflict horrible, bloody carnage on someone in the ring. I wouldn't call him sick and twisted. That's an insult to sick and twisted people everywhere. Fang's on a whole other level. I never used to believe the stories, but now that I'm working for him, I can honestly say he's the most degenerate and perverted man in the whole Empire. But he pays well, very well. Enough so that we pretend not to see what's going on, though I still feel bad for Breezes sometimes. Not without an appointment, and his schedule's full for the next month. All the ministers are coming in from the outlying towns to make their reports. If he's not meeting with a minister, he's relaxing here, hoping to see somebody beaten to a quivering pulp in the ring, or maybe torn apart by one of the animals. Yeah, that or he's taking a break with Breezes. Poor girl. No amount of silver is worth what she does for him. Gentle Breezes. She's Fang's, concubine. She's over in the next room with the common folk. Fang doesn't like to be seen with her in public. He, doesn't mind her getting up close and personal when they're in private, though. The things she does for him. Okay, good luck in your next fight.
I'm not really in the mood for company. Judge Fang wanted me to try something special last night, and I still haven't quite recovered yet. Get rid of him? What do you mean? Remove him from office, or something else? Really? I was hoping you wanted to kill him. The world would be a better place with that disgusting pig dead and buried. But as much as I want to see his bloated corpse floating in the gutter, Fang is a dangerous man, and he keeps my pockets lined with silver. I hope Fang gets what he deserves, but you'll have to do it without my help. No. Even if I was willing to give up all that silver, if Fang finds out, he'll make sure I spend the rest of my days begging for death. It's not worth the risk. Wow, that is a lot of silver. And I'd love to get out from under Fang's boot heel. I'll help you. You wanted Fang dead, right?
I'll admit that it's a tough call, but I don't know if the Inquisitors are looking to have Fang murdered.
It'd be easier to kill him. Fang's reputation is already as dirty as it can get. As long as it doesn't get in the way of his job, everybody just turns a blind eye. Well, every document Judge Fang approves has to be stamped with his Imperial ring. Losing the ring is a major offense. And if it was revealed he lost the ring during one of his sexual escapades, even Fang wouldn't want that to come out.
What are you doing here, Breezes? You know I don't like it when people see us together in public.
Don't be mad, my mighty and manly Fang. I was just hoping we could go upstairs for a bit. I've got a treat for you. Here's a hint. They're silk.
I'm surprised you're so eager after last night. I'm glad to see you're finally becoming more receptive to my special needs. Well done, Breezes. If a little tame for my tastes. I think tonight you should wear the blindfold. I have some interesting surprises in store for you.
I can hardly wait, oh great and virile Fang. Here's the ring. Fang will do anything to keep people from finding out he lost it to a whore, even if it means resigning his post. Show the ring to his guards and they'll let you through. I better disappear for a while, but make sure you tell him where you got it. He'll be sorry he ever touched me.
Look, we already told you, Fang doesn't want to be bothered. He just wants to relax and watch the arena fights. Yeah, if he doesn't get his daily fill of blood, violence, and gore, he'll be snarly all day. And he's hard enough to work for when he's in a good mood. How did you get... No, forget it. I don't want to know. You better go talk to Fang about that ring. Yeah, we don't want any part of this.
Some of these new fights can be delightfully savage. Do you mind? How can I enjoy the crack of bone, the screams of pain, and the glorious geysers of crimson blood down in the arena with you bothering me? Or are you here to offer your services for later? Normally I prefer women who reek of the gutter, but I'm willing to branch out if you beg me. Is that so? Let me guess. Some sense of moral outrage at my perversions, no doubt. Well, my tastes are already well known at the Imperial court. Nobody cares about my predilections, as long as I don't let my activities interfere with my duties as a judge. My ring? But how... That harlot. I should have suspected something when she came to me willingly. Usually I have to command her presence. Well, it seems you have me in an awkward position. I can't let it be known that I was foolish enough to let a whore steal my ring. I would lose my position. So, what is it you want from me? Silver? An Imperial posting? What? Of course. Now I understand. The Lotus Assassins are behind this, aren't they? I should have known something like this would happen. They tried to bend me to their will, but I'm not easily broken. Or so I thought. Are you proud of yourself? Bowing and scraping at the feet of your Lotus Assassin masters, helping them to bring me down? You think I'm an evil man, don't you? You think my soul is rotten and corrupt. But at least I have a soul. The same cannot be said for those you now serve. The Lotus Assassins destroyed me. But now that I am gone, I wonder where their attention will turn next. Keep a close watch over your shoulder, friend. My resignation is on the table. Take it and stamp it with my Imperial ring yourself.
I want to hear that you're ready for your next fight. What do you need? I rushed out notification of this match, and we've had the outcriers shouting themselves hoarse. I hear many nobles will even be in attendance. It's rare that the Silver Division rests balanced against a single victory on the scales of combat, you know. That's nothing compared to the skills of Silver Phoenix, who has soared so high so quickly. Words like those spread like raging flames. Will you face Soldier now? The Silver Division Championship awaits you. Excellent. Follow me and we'll get you ready for your next match.
Can Silver Phoenix take the Silver Division? Iron Soldier will not fall easily!
soldier is a worthy opponent. I hope you understand how many warriors have tried to extrapolate him from the Silver Division Championship. Be proud! From here, your battles will be even harder. A test, if you will, to see if you stand a chance against the Ravager. Impress the crowd, and you will have your chance against the Ravager himself. I can promise you that. What do you need? Things are interesting right now. Be as careful walking the streets as you are in the ring. I don't think Kailan is pleased with your progress.
Your victories are impossible for the other fighters to ignore. You are a master of the arena, the ground where executioners are born. Perhaps you have potential that you are not even aware of. There may be a role in the executioners for you after all. Why have you chosen to come here when you have already earned the favor of the Inquisitor? Do you wish the blessing of someone less corrupted? That is a strong position to take, and one that we respect. You will have to remember, however, that if we accept you, you will be a mere recruit. If you survive, you will join an order unlike any other. We enforce the will of Death's Hand and the Emperor. We guard the treasures of the Empire. This will be your responsibility. Can you look on silver coins, golden tablets, or prophesized artifacts and think only of duty? Then we will waste no more time. You are adequate, and I will allow you to begin training. Proceed to our fortress. It lies at the far side of the burial ground that is the necropolis, which you may reach through the rich section of the city. Present this token so that they will know you. I expect great things of you. Not many of our recruits possess both the skills to become executioners and the personality to attract such a loyal band of followers. Indeed. Many others think that they are above the norm when they join us, as if acceptance elevates their status. You will learn that conformity to our ways will serve you better. I am well aware of those who come with you, their strengths and their weaknesses. You inspire loyalty in most of those who follow you. That will serve you well. Am I? Or do you doubt your own abilities to deal with them if proven treacherous? In time, you will see that your loyalty to our order is all that matters. If you survive your training and remain in control of your senses, perhaps you will serve at my side one day.
Typical. Sowing seeds of distrust in their new recruits. Once we're out of here, let's go tell the others about our success.
Sa'ir Yagowak, Kokonato Siri Panonenico.
Sairos Tiusiat.
Saro Rasipa Ukal Ir Napsoaku. Uno wir na no pa Yesu. Isana yoyo, Konir Puk no Sonkud Nano Wana Nabir. Ipanar Nuku Iwa Ir, Nikasanarir, Iruru Ninua Sa'ir Kana. Usair Kokonato, Tanadir. Katanano, Shafatoyo, Kokonato Siri Panonenico. Ipanar Nuku Iwa Ir, Nikasanarir, Iroro ni nua sa irkana. Sata tawe ir wo nawa fu kuno sukut nia awafawa ir sutok. Usair kokonato tanatir katanano shafatoyo kokonato siri panoneniko. Nigasuri ir kwanano kuni ugnawata ir niknipi ir. Irkana. Nigasuri ir kwanano kasa ir iroro.
So, things are looking up. You've gained the favor of the Lotus Assassins. And you've made doubly certain of it by aiding both the Executioner and Inquisitor. Very impressive. The way to the Lotus Assassin Fortress is open.
And after we find the evidence against Death's hand, you will take us to the palace to find Master Li?
I promise, little Dawnstar. After we get what I want from the Lotus Assassins, the palace is the first place we will go. You have permission, so there won't be any trouble entering. It's only after we have the evidence against Death's hand that they might notice something is wrong.
It would still be good to get some information first. Sagacious Zoo might know something. We should ask him. Where is he?
Well, you should be more careful of who you trust. That is true. I wouldn't trust any of the ragged homeless you have collected. No offense meant to those of you who are actually homeless, Dawnstar. If Sagacious Zoo has gone to warn the Lotus Assassins, you need to move quick. If he's just run off, he is no longer our concern.
Zoo would not turn on us.
The Lotus Assassin Fortress is in the far end of the necropolis. They shouldn't give you any trouble. Just appear confident as you enter. Everything is in place. I'll have my evidence against Death's hand soon enough. Oh, and you'll have access to your Master Li as well. I don't want you to think I have forgotten your needs.